was that?
2010, staging to Spa.
Yeah.
We were going down, it was about 10k to go.
Yep.
Going down this hill, and it was just so slippery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Raining. I was
one
there.
guy braked in front of us, I braked behind, and I went down.
Yeah.
And then George braked to try and stop hitting into me, and he went down, and we were sliding down the road together, and we stopped. He went, "Holy fuck!"
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Move podcast, brought to you each and every day by Ketone IQ. This summer, talking about Stage 12. Alain, what we do?
Stage 12 from Aurillac to Villeneuve-sur-Lot. From Aurillac to Villeneuve-sur-Lot.
Low. See, I see L-O-T when I see the word sur-lot.
Low.
Huh? Sur-lot. Biniam Girmay, the hat trick. I mean, we were expecting, or hoping/expecting to see sprint history in this Tour de France. We did. We were treated to Mark Cavendish's history-making 35th stage win. But we're seeing a whole different kind of history here. First stage win for Eritrea, and now the hat trick. 3 stages. Who saw this coming? By the way, plus 700 going into last night across with the bookies. Those are long odds.
And a green jersey, more of a point spread.
I mean, we can get in. I mean, he is pulling away. I don't think he loses the green jersey. I think that competition's over. We'll get into all the action. But before we do, today's show brought to you by Honey Stinger. Most of you know I've been a fan of Honey Stinger since the very early days. I've actually been involved with this company since 2008, 2009. They made the first Stroop waffle here in the U.S. Look at this. This is actually one of my favorite flavors, salted caramel.
They are so good.
They're so good. They're great. Here's what they're great. They're great for riding.
Where have they been hiding out? I haven't seen those.
I know how George goes through food at the house, but first Stroop waffle here in the U.S. Great for riding, great for working out, and also great for just snacking, and great for your kids. Like your kids are always, don't let them reach for those Oreos and the chocolate. Hand them a Stroop waffle from Honey Stinger. It's much better for them. Also, too, a little intel. A lot of folks are practicing with these CGMs out there and measuring how food affects exercise and what is the best fuel. My sources are telling me that actually the Stroop waffle is one of the best fuel sources for endurance sports. Pretty sick. Also, 32 pro football teams use it, 39 pro basketball teams, 29 pro baseball teams, and pretty much every college out there in the NC2A. Pretty amazing. Head on over to honeystinger.com/themove to check out all of their products, including my favorite, the waffle. Our listeners can get 25% off their first order at honeystinger.com. Use the code THEMOVE. That's 25% off. Head on over to honeystinger.com. The code is THEMOVE. Also today brought to you by Ecoy. If you guys saw our pictures yesterday out riding, George and I, we took Liz and Colton up the summer, up the kind of the fire road, up Buttermilk there. And we got some incredible imagery. George half-wheeled me the whole time, but most importantly...
It's my directing debut, too, which, if you're curious what I mean by that, check our socials out.
We will get to George's directorial debut. Mr. Scorsese and Spielberg and everybody else of the ilk, you should be nervous. But if you saw the images, you're seeing these Ecoy helmets we're wearing. I think they look amazing. And more importantly, they fit incredibly well. Like this is arguably the most comfortable helmet I've ever put on my head. They have 4 teams in the tour: Israel Premier Tech, Lotto Destiny, Arkea, and Team Cofidis. Their products are exclusively available online at Ecoy, EKOI.com. And check this out too. They don't just develop this stuff in the lab or in the design studio. They use the athletes to give feedback and to design the best products. The entire Ecoy website is currently on sale until the end of July. Discounts up to 60%. Special offer with the code THEMOVE. You get $15 off any purchase of $150. Head on over to Ecoy, EKOI.com. That's till the end of July. Also today brought to you by Element. I don't even know how to start this little ad.
We should put the Element logo on our video that we just put out.
So George, as I say all the time, I do sweat a lot. It's just my thing. I find that I'm sweating less these days. I think I'm fitter and stronger, but I still sweat a ton. George, the man, is dry as a bone. But I've found a way to replenish all this sweat in its element, right? 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, no sugar, no gluten, no artificial ingredients. It is the real deal. And here's the thing, and this is the best thing, right? If you don't like it, just pass it along to your friends. No questions asked. You get the free Element sample pack. That includes every flavor that they have. There's 8 of those. Just go check it out at drinklmnt.com/themove. Also try out the new Element Sparkling. I got a text from my friend Phil yesterday who sent me a picture of the new Element Sparkling.
I haven't tried this flavor yet, the black cherry lime.
Well, you know what Phil did. All right, Phil joined Salty Revolution. I know I say that every day how much I love. I think it's amazing. So y'all should join the Salty Revolution. drinklmnt.com/themove. And later in the show, we will show you something that has a lot to do with this, and it's George's directorial debut. He's been thinking about this, and not just directorial.
We might not be able to show it. They can watch it on our socials.
Okay, we'll put it on socials. Well, I don't know how this works. Not only was he the director, he was the creative director.
Correct.
He wrote this spoof, dreamed it up, and you should have seen him on the ride. He was yelling at the camera guy, Colton. This poor kid, Colton. I mean, it's the sweetest kid ever. He's like, no, you're not doing it right. You're a different angle. And I'm like, what the... Dude, we're going to edit this thing.
Take five.
He did an amazing job. It's exactly how I envisioned
now
it.
Barking at him yesterday. Anyways, let's get into all the action of stage 12. Girmay,
what a sprint. I mean, my first observation is how poised and confident Biniam Girmay is now. He coming into Tour de France, yes, he's won stage of the Giro, but he wasn't known as one of the top sprinters in the world. And if you watch him in the final kilometers where he's just kind of chilling, 10 back with a K to go, 15, that just shows the confidence and the poise that he has right now. And he just blew everybody away. He's got the best guys there. He didn't even really have a lead out there at the end. I mean, the guy is on fire. He's got the momentum. And like you said, Lance, it'd be hard to take that green jersey from him now.
Impossible. He's riding too good. The last stages are the last week, the last week, I should say, is so hard. He'll handle that fine. He'll handle it way better than Philipsen will. Right? I mean, Wiggo, what do you think? I mean, he's just he's a bike racer.
He's growing in confidence, and he's always puts himself in the right position. And for someone who doesn't have a massive lead-out train like Philipsen does, he's got a knack for putting himself in the right position, and he's just amazing. He's 24 years of age. Did we say
24?
3 stage wins already, and I think you said it actually before, Lance, as well, when we were off air, that it's a shame he's got another 3 years in that team. But just from the point of view that do they now build a team around him completely and give him a sort of Jasper Philipsen type lead out train? Because we talked about whether anyone could ever get close to Mark Cavendish's record now. But someone like him at 24 years of age with the right team around him, the right support, you could imagine him still racing in 15 years' time, winning stages.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, we're seeing sort of the rise again of Wout van Aert, which I saw an interview of him.
Yeah, it was good to see him back after that crash.
He said he wasn't feeling great. He wasn't even sure if he was going to continue in the Tour de France.
Wow.
Now he's looking better, and he just keeps kind of sort of getting stuck on that right-hand barrier. Not his fault. It's just the way the sprint goes. And he might have been able to win that stage had he not got stuck in that there. But that's sprinting. But point being that he's looking a lot better, and he's going for these sprint wins. And I'd like to see him win a stage, although they have much bigger goals in this race, obviously. But pretty cool to see him up there.
That would him, leaving the Tour de France would be a catastrophe for East Middle East bike. Think about this, right? We talked about it yesterday. It is, I think, it is their responsibility to attack the race, open up the race, and put Pogačar on the ropes. That's so clear and simple. If you miss him, that's a big. And keep in mind, they don't have a guy like Sepp Kuss, right? I mean, they're going to have to open up the race in the mountains. I'm looking at that roster and looking at how this has gone so far. Yes, Matteo Jorgensen, incredible, but from there, who's going to do that? Then you start to really say, "Damn."
Well, we
missed Sepp Kuss.
Yeah, and we've seen Wout van Aert go uphill like crazy.
Yeah, of course.
He won the Mount Ventoux stage. He's, like we said, he's gaining momentum now. They won a stage yesterday. The team, the ambiance must be on fire. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a couple more guys helping him out in tomorrow's sprint stage, just to get him even more fired up, even more motivated to help the team, because they're really going to need him, like you mentioned, without a guy like Sepp Kuss. They're going to need a climbing Wout van Aert that has maybe perhaps a stage win in his belt, nothing to lose, all in for helping a guy like Jonas. I'd love to see that happen.
Also in that sprint, Philipsen lost his main man there with Van der Poel because of that crash, which we'll get into that. Yeah. But it's still fun to watch Cavendish wheel surf the way he does.
Yeah, well, he Philipsen also lost his lead-out man surf at train surfing, and I think Cav picked up on that, didn't he? And Cav moved right up, so it was good to see Cav there. Was he fourth, Cav, on the stage?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't top 10. But he was up there fighting. I think at the end we saw him get sort of squeezed in there. And that guy actually, Johan told us we had to look up his name because he's doing some really good lead outs for Philipsen and Van der Poel. Anyway, it's here somewhere. I'll find
Smith.
it.
We call him Jim until we find out his real name.
And then we also have Ackerman, who's on Israeli Cycling Academy, getting top threes, top fours, Premier Tech, Israeli Premier Tech, looking very good, very confident in the sprint as well. And these sprint stages are getting more and more exciting. Although Bingham right now is definitely the one dominating.
Well, if we're talking about, because we're talking about Biniam Girmay, clearly in the lead in the green jersey, this kid Jonas Abrahamson, who we've talked a little bit about, who is technically he's wearing the polka dot jersey. Y'all all know that's my favorite jersey, and I love it when they throw in the socks and the shoes and the helmet and the bottles and everything. But this kid is just, he's in the bike race every day. He was in the break today. He gets caught, and then he's doing the lead out for
Christoph, Alexander
Christoph, right? Yeah. I mean, how strong is this guy? Well, I mean, it was like the Energizer Bunny.
That's what I was thinking when I watched it today. I go, this might be the first polka dot jersey wearer that you're like, wait, I love this guy.
I mean, this is not the first stage of the Criterium International. We're over halfway through the Tour de France. Guys are tired, and he's continuing to go on the brakes, gets caught. And then I'll just sit up here and ride 55, 60K an hour and try to lead out Christoph.
For like over a kilometer also. I mean, it was mind-boggling how long he was up there. He's in beast mode right now. Has the confidence to be up there, and definitely the legs, as we can see.
And he gained 20 kilos a month before the Tour.
A month? I don't know if it was a month
before. Now it's turned into a month before. This is the guy that Johan was talking about, that he came in, was supposed to be a promising climber, realized he wasn't quite at that level, and he was 58 kilos, so he's put on all his strength. You see how bulky he is from that front shot. He said, I want to be a puncher, and it's working well for him.
Yeah, today was a tough day. I mean, they had four strong guys in the breakaway. You could see the field never went easy. They couldn't let these guys. They saw what happened when this Jonas guy was away by himself a couple days ago. They actually had to go quite hard, put 5 teams behind the chase. So today they didn't want to give these 4 guys much more than 2 minutes, and they were going quite hard the whole day. I think it was a tough stage for most of the guys out there.
Imagine this, though, right? You got Biniam Girmay, wins his 3rd stage. He's on a small team, Intermarché Wanty. Yeah. Right. What is and this would be a question, JB, for JB Squared. So to ask Johan, like, what's the annual budget of Intermarché Wanty? Right. It's one of the smallest, right?
I would say 15 million is probably one of the smaller budgets, 15 to 20 million, and it goes up to maybe 50 million.
So then you can compare and contrast with a team like Ineos, right? So here's arguably the most well-funded team in the peloton. You got the little team over here, whatever the budget is, 3 stage wins. You got the biggest budget over here looking around going, what's going on? Yeah. Like, they're not, I mean, they are in the race, right, with Rodriguez. We'll see how the last week plays out for him, but they're not in the story, right? And you're spending that kind of dough, that's a head scratcher.
And the pressure is building. I'm sure you can attest to this. A team like that, 12 days in, no stage win. The chances are getting smaller and smaller, and the pressure is getting higher and higher. I mean, what would that be like right now, the team ambiance for them? I'm sure they're getting on really well.
They're used to it. I mean, they have been in this position. The trouble is they've set such a standard over the years, haven't they? And the bar is high, not just because of the budget. The budget is that size because of the success they've had. And it's attracted huge sponsors and huge sort of financial revenue. But
one sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, one
But
big sponsor. Yeah, they got other stuff, of course.
Yeah. But they've got, the bloody car, what do they call
Yeah.
it? Grenadiers.
But he owns that.
It's all,
company,
I know, but
same shit.
it's all his cash.
It's one guy.
But my point was, George, that it's hard for them, isn't it? Unless they're trying to win GC, which they've had, they've sort of spread their eggs in this year with G doing the Giro and stuff like that. Yeah. They're always finding new things to do. And the last couple of years, they've been going for stage wins, haven't they? And they've come out with these different mantras about we're going to race to win and we're going to race faster than we won before, as Dave Brailsford used to say. But no, I think look, Pidcock and those guys will come good. I think that they're the last week is going to be really hard, as we know.
I agree. I mean, Pidcock almost won the gravel
I don't think the stages are going to be like they have been every day. I think at some point, the elastic's going to snap, and they're going to get big groups go up the road.
Yeah, and you got a guy like G with the most experience in the peloton right now. Had a great Giro. Is out of the GC. We'd love to see him get in a breakaway in these mountain stages.
Tom Pidcock also.
Tom Pidcock. And then Rodriguez obviously keep trying to fight for that top 10.
I mean, Kwiatkowski.
Yeah.
Well, you got and Bernal. Who knows? I mean, he's. I think perhaps.
Wait, what'd you say? Bernal?
Yeah.
Ask me why I'm playing it. Besides Bernal.
Wow, okay.
Colombia advanced to the finals of the Copa America, beat Uruguay 1-0.
Yep.
With a man down, red card. Amazing match to watch. All of Charlotte. They played in Charlotte, right near my hometown of Greenville, South Carolina. People were going nuts all over the world. It was awesome to watch.
And you forced me to watch a lot of that. Me and soccer.
Whoa. What's up with this, Wiggo?
Well, England also made the Euro finals.
Oh, England and Colombia, vamos.
Did they beat Spain?
They beat the Netherlands in the semi-finals, so they're up against Spain in the final.
Yeah, which Spain's got a 16-year-old kid who scored a goal, first time in history. I mean, that's my son is 16.
Yeah,
crazy.
Speaking of soccer, y'all know I don't love the game of soccer. I do have a question for all you soccer lovers. Because this just makes no sense, right? I get it, right? Both halves are 45 minutes, and I that's the part I like. Like, these guys got to run around. There's really no substitutions, and there's no stoppages. You got to just keep running. I
can attest for your dislike of soccer. Yesterday, I go, bro, you're missing the game. We're at 1-0. He goes, I'll be there in 15. Soccer sucks. That was your response to my text message.
It does suck, but I just have a technical question, because I get it, 2:45s. But then somehow along the way, there is one of the refs who's deciding the extra time. All right. Now, and nobody knows. They don't tell you. And then when you get to the end of the 45, the guy goes, 2 more minutes or 7 more minutes. I mean, it's just like, it seems so arbitrary. And I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. I think you should just, if somebody's down and injured, just stop the clock for a second, get him off the field, and then restart. That way, as a fan, because then you're waiting for this guy, this mystery ref that says, oh, I think it's 4.5 minutes. How does he get to that number?
Let me get this straight. You're saying that you don't like to watch soccer, but now you're trying to change the rules of the game as well? Does anybody understand that one?
Do you know about the offside rule, Lance?
Negative.
That's a whole nother story.
Well, it's soccer's up there with pickleball for me. I mean, I hate pickleball more than most things. All right, but if pickleball called me and said, said Lance, we know you hate us, but would you mind chiming in on some rule changes? I'd be happy to, and I would start with the scoring system. All right, this is the dumbest scoring system of all time. So confusing, so complicated, makes no sense. How about 1-0, 3-2, 5-1, whatever? Like, they have these three different things.
I agree on the scoring of the pickleball. Right, but it is fun to play. Updated news: Cav was 5th. What Johan just wrote in, but he got disqualified.
The way he jumped over to the left.
Yeah, completely changed his line, as did Arnaud Delis. So there was a bit of drama there as well.
Thank goodness he didn't win.
Yeah.
That would have. They probably wouldn't have disqualified.
Yeah, we did see that, didn't we? We did think that was a bit of a rapid movement, but he did the same when he won the stage to take the record, didn't he? And we kind of question whether that was going to be, but they seem to pick and choose, don't they? And Cav wasn't. I don't think he affected the race by doing that.
No, for sure not.
But hey,
well, we got to talk about Primož Roglič and his crash, and then and just sort of what caused the crash. Before we do, today's show brought to you by Ketone IQ. We talked about at the top of the show. We often hear that fasting and exercise are good for the brain. HVMN launched the world's first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovation on ketones with improved effectiveness, taste, and cost. Ketone IQ delivers clean fuel that can cross the blood-brain barrier, supplying your brain, no matter whether it's big or small, with sustained energy, focus, and sharpness. 30% off your first subscription order, plus a free 6-pack when you use the link ketone.com/themove. That's ketone.com/themove. Also today brought to you by OneSkin. I don't know about you, but I'm really ready for summer. I'm always ready for summer, and I'm dreading going back to Austin at some point where it's truly summer. We're in Aspen, right? This is the way summer is supposed to be. However, we are at 8,000 feet. The sun blasts on you all the time. It rocks your skin. It's dry up here. We get sunburned easily. And honestly, our skin could use a little TLC. The folks over at OneSkin have pioneered, check this out, the OS01 peptide.
Oh, I love it. I'm hooked. I'm hooked on it.
Look at you.
Yep.
I mean, clearly you were hooked on it. Right? Some people do ice
my
baths.
routine,
George
part of my
does
routine.
OneSkin baths.
Absolutely.
Just starts with his face in there and gets that OS01 peptide. This is, check it out. This is the one that targets the zombie cells that cause lines, wrinkles, and sagging skin.
Oh, boy.
Oof. By the way, the whole product suite is incredible. OneSkin is more than skin care. It's about skin longevity, targeting the root causes of aging to help you look and feel your best at every age. Get started today with 15% off using the code THEMOVE at oneskin.co. That's not .com. oneskin.co. Use the code THEMOVE for 15% off. Hey, George, how'd you sleep last night?
I slept like a baby.
I bet you did. You just have... George's day. I wake up, have a little coffee, hang out, pedal my bike a little bit, hang out with all these fancy friends, go to bed. That's stressful.
Stress. I mean, I woke up this morning from a text from you with a picture of the coffee grounds saying that I messed up the coffee somehow. But I got to work with you every day, and it's tough. But the feed helps me out a lot by sending me products like this new magnesium drink called Pillar. And I've been drinking it each night before work and bed, and it helps me relax and stay recovered.
And you're saying it works?
Absolutely.
Wait, so is that the pineapple coconut drink that you had sitting around?
Yes, sir.
And I took a sip. It's probably another one of those ones you left half full, just littering the kitchen.
Leave it around the house. I don't, because I do drink the whole thing. Maybe I leave the glass around the house, but it's only $1 a day.
I did. That's it. I mean, I'm cheap. But you're cheaper. $1 a day for better sleep?
Absolutely. Check it out.
With that.
Check it out. They're from Australia, and our friends at The Feed have discovered them. Go to thefeed.com and save 20% off for some Pillar.
Get you some sleep, some Z's. Sir Wiggle, how are you sleeping up here, by the way?
Pretty well.
You are?
Yeah. I love it.
Primoz Roglič hits the deck again. It crashed yesterday.
Ruined my day.
Y'all know we're big fans of his, and but I think the thing to talk about here is what caused the crash. The Astana rider gets stuck. As these cities, towns, municipalities, whatever you want to call them, really all over the world, but especially in Europe, they've created these ways to divert traffic and control traffic and slow people down and prevent people from passing. We call it road furniture.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you saw the Astana rider. The poor guy had his wheels on the left side of a small median. And when I say small, I mean maybe 8 inches high, 2 feet wide, just something put there so that cars...
It was like a men's 8 rowing boat turned upside down.
Yes, it was.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder, like, what is the point of that in normal daily life with cars? Something like that.
Gets you in line. Keeps you in line.
Keeps someone from turning at an inappropriate spot.
But if you're going to take the Tour de France down a road like that, then it needs even a bollard or a hay bale at the end of it. It's still,
And Liz pointed out, usually back in our day, there was always like police standing in front of them with whistles or with flags, making it very obvious. In a group of 200 guys, maybe the first 5-10 guys can see that. When you're 50, 60, 70 back, you're not seeing shit until it's too late and you're right on top of this median. And that's what happened today. And unfortunately, Roglič was a big victim of that crash. And it's arguable. We don't know if he's going to be able to start. I mean, he looked pretty rough.
No,
he was not looking good.
No,
and
he
going
wasn't.
slow.
Going
and checking
slow.
his head, which you don't like to see.
No.
We saw the ripped jersey and the abrasion on the right shoulder, but you don't want him to hit his head. So here's a question, because I'm certainly not one of these scientists that figures out traffic flow and how to do all these things.
Actually, I think you are, because you kind of blew me away from home from the airport yesterday. I don't know what we were coming back from biking, and you started telling me about how this left light coming onto the main drag on the out of the highway is screwing up all the traffic patterns of Aspen. Yep. You had it timed out, and you had a whole new plan for this. So I think you are quite a
sports rules, traffic rules.
I know. I was like, what?
This is his thing.
Well, this show is quite. It's there's a lot of Hollywood in the show, so sometimes I say stuff I don't mean, just to sort of play it up. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm not a traffic scientist, and I'm certainly not in the construction and or deconstruction business. Here's my proposal. This would be my proposal to ASO and to any town that wants to have a start or a finish of the Tour, or even have the Tour de France go through your town. All right, we know start and finish towns pay a lot for the privilege to have those, and I also think that the towns that the Tour passes through also pays, right? And again, I don't know what the cost is to take these things out. We've seen when they are close to if there's a roundabout close to the finish, they will straight up take it out. You can see the new pavement and they'll go put it back in, or take part of it out so that it rounds a corner. My proposal would be, if the Tour de France goes to your town, you're taking all that out, right? You're already spending all this money. You want the Tour de France in your town. We're talking about the health and safety of the riders.
They used to do that, though, didn't they?
But I'm talking about every one of them, right? And it's not, you're not asking one town to do all of them. You're asking one town to do the ones that interfere with the race. You just take them out. And when the Tour leaves town, well, you build them back. I know it's going to cost a little money.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. What I don't understand.
I'll bet you a whole lot of money.
All right. Well, I'm already down a lot of money by not being able to do those pull-ups you wanted me to do. But these days, and Bradley, back me up here, with the amount of information the riders have coming to them, they know exactly which corners are coming up, which way the wind's coming, what's going to happen in an hour from now. How did the directors not point out and say, there is a huge meeting in the middle of the road, y'all be Mosca, pay attention. It's going to split the field in half. Why didn't they know about this?
Well, they obviously did, but it was one rider that did it.
Okay.
One rider on either side of it. He put his leg over, so they didn't hit. That was his fault.
Yeah.
The ricochet effect that he caused after that. But other than that, I suppose they all did know about it. Yeah. He was on the right side of it, but obviously he lost his balance a little bit, and
which happens in the chaos leading up to the
and of course finishes. We saw the chaos that intervened after
Let me ask all of you this about Roglič. Again, we're fans, but for the longest time, I think this guy just has terrible luck in the Tour de France. At a certain point, you kind of have to have that maybe it's me conversation that he might. Do you think it's just?
I mentioned it also with you, JB, earlier before the stage. The big thing to avoid crashes many times is you got to be 5 seconds ahead of what's happening. You got to be looking up the road and watching riders, what they're doing, how they're reacting in the peloton. But then Bradley pointed out what happened. When was that?
2010, stage into Spa.
Yeah.
We were going down. It was about 10K to go.
Yep.
Going down this hill, and it was just so slippery, wasn't it?
Yeah. Raining.
I was one guy braked in front of us. I braked behind, and I went down. Yeah. And then George braked to try and stop hitting to me, and he went down, and we were sliding down the road together, and we stopped. He went, "Holy fuck!" But we were shredded. It was like a cheese grater, wasn't it?
It was.
Like the road.
And sometimes, like, the point of that story is sometimes you can't react. You have no time to react. Yeah. And this is what happened with Roglič today. I mean, this guy they were going 60K an hour. Guy just went into him. There was nothing he could do. It wasn't his fault. Bad luck once again in the Tour de France.
But is it bad luck? That's my question.
Well, you know what? When in the 2012 Tour, if you remember, we would crash to avoid things like that. We would stick our team time trial squad on the left side of the sprinter team riding.
And where'd you learn that from?
You guys.
Maybe that's right.
Yeah, but that's kind of, and they see that was happening a few years ago, wasn't it? You'd have 5 or 6 teams across the road. There's less of that this year. And I don't know if that stems from Pogacar and his dominance and the sprinter teams, but you know, he could have avoided that.
So I spoke to Cav, to your point. That is a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. And I asked Cav, why aren't there more teams organized at the end? And he said, there's so many good guys winning races throughout the year leading up to the Tour de France that pretty much everybody thinks they can win now.
Yeah.
So they're all up there battling for the sprint, not necessarily helping their leader. They're trying to win the stage. And he's like, they're not going to win. There's only a handful of people that can win, but that's why we're not seeing these big lead out trains, which is still kind of not the right thing for the leaders.
All the more reason that these towns that the Tour touches has to be respectful of that you just emphasize what I'm saying. This sport is not going to ever get slower. It's going to get faster and faster, more and more competitive, and guys are going to be more and more out for themselves. It's just this thing's going to speed up over time forever. You cannot have these obstacles. Let's call them what they are. Right, as our good friend Johan says, obstacles. Right? These are obstacles in the road. What other sport would have that? F1's going to come through some place. I know you guys haven't ever been here. We're going to throw some shit in the road. You'll figure it out. You're the best in the world. No, right? Just take them out. This is a new era, a new generation. Every man for himself. Everything's fast. The clothes are fast. The bikes are fast. The wheels are fast. The riders are fast. The nutrition is fast. Take the obstacles out of the way.
Boy, ASO loves you so much as it is. Now you're costing them $1 million more a day to take out road furniture.
The town pays for it.
The town will pay for it. You're already paying to have the Tour come there. It's ASO's. I'm not picking on ASO at all.
The town, you don't want to be known as the town where a rider died, and you're putting up a memorial for that.
Of course not.
That's
extreme.
Yeah. That's a great point, JB.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah.
For something minuscule.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know what it costs to rip these things out and rebuild them.
Those ones we saw today were not a big deal.
Nothing. Okay, a couple more things before we bounce.
We got to talk about tomorrow, too.
We got to. Okay, let's talk about tomorrow right now, and then we'll talk about. We got a couple fun things.
Another very similar day to like today. It's actually kind of backwards of what today was in terms of the hills more towards the end. Tough stage, uphill start. I know that doesn't look like much, but those little bumps, we can all assure you on this table, hurt like hell. So it's going to be a very, very difficult start. Big fight for the breakaway. And I think the sprinter teams will rally and get it going for the sprint again. What do you guys think?
Short stage.
Yeah, short stage, easier to control.
Fast. It's so funny. We for most people that just ride bikes, you say, okay, we're going to ride 100 miles tomorrow, 160 kilometers. Like, oh my God, I'm going to bed right now. I'm going to carb a load. Tomorrow's 100 miles. The guys are like, oh, thank goodness, short stage.
Yeah.
Just cruise through this, but it's going to be a rocking start.
That'd be a fast finish. I think it'd be a bunch sprint again.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a bunch sprint.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That running into Po, we've done that quite a lot in the Tour.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and shout out Wout van Aert for tomorrow. That's my pick.
Okay.
Girmay.
You going Girmay again?
Girmay again. Girmay again.
You watch.
Wow. I'm envisioning Christophe Laporte giving Wout van Aert the best lead out ever because he's a fighter. He's the one who can stay up there near him and just have him jump on his wheel 500 meters to go and bring him to the line. That's what I'm seeing.
Biniam Girmay. On that note, I just because I want to get to your to the rodeo update for you because I know Sir Bradley.
Please tell me we have more videos.
He's immersed himself.
He's thinking about it. He's like, oh shit, what did I do yesterday?
I rode a pig at the rodeo.
He's immersed himself in Aspen life and part of Aspen is Snowmass, and over there in Snowmass they've got the rodeo, and so Sir Bradley went over there yesterday. But before we do, because we've just been talking about Eritrea so much, and I finally figured out where this place is, which is kind of cool. But I just don't know how to get there. So let me see if my travel agent will pick up. I call her name's Barbara. I call her Babs. Come on, baby. She's probably, it's on FaceTime audio. So.
Hello.
Hey, Babs.
Yeah.
How you doing?
But I was going to text you and tell you I'm leaving here in about 10 minutes.
Okay, well, you got me now. I just have a quick question, and just FYI, you're live on my show. So, I have so here's my question: have you ever sent any of your clients to a country called Eritrea?
Yes.
What?
Wow.
Okay, so how do we go from Austin to Eritrea? How long is that going to take me? Where do I got to connect? How's it go?
Probably 17 hours if I were just guessing.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Not horrible.
Oh, she's checking the computer.
Yeah, no kidding.
I like her.
They got first class all the way? I'm trying to get a jizzy. Babs. Hey, Babs, you know what a jizzy is?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what a jizzy is?
Jizzy, no.
All right, you're on the show here. Anyways, you can send me some.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Well, we're going to go to Eritrea. All right, send it to me. Thank you. Bye.
She's funny.
She's like, I said, you're on our show. She's like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? You're not on any show. I mean, she is so tough. She's like, there are times she hangs up on me. I'm like, well, I don't like, that seat, I don't like that seat, or that sucks, or I don't want that layover's too long. She's like, I'm like,
Oh, that's too good.
Hey, before we hear about the rodeo, can we talk about one other cycling related thing in the news today? And that's that Total Energies had a truck robbed. I don't know if this ever happened.
it does happen.
It happens.
Yeah, it's like South by Southwest. Some musician's truck is going to get broken into. It happens every year, and $150,000 in bikes stolen. So they're kind of scrambling. They don't have backup bikes.
That's crazy.
Like.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Doesn't
They will find those bikes pretty fast.
Yeah.
I have to think they find it's. You can't. You can't just. You're not going to pawn those bikes. I mean, they're so distinct. I think they come back.
Do we know what kind of bikes they are?
Specialized?
Oh, there's really? Wow.
Yeah. And or they'll find some more specialized bikes.
Yeah.
From Specialized. But,
Yeah.
in the old days, we used to. I remember the mechanic. When I first joined the team, we have the team buses with all the bikes and all the tools and everything, and then in the front of the bus has the washing machine, et cetera. But in the mechanics would always. When I first joined the team, the car was like a quarter of an inch from the back door.
Just for that.
And I remember thinking, wow, I got a little close there. And I said something, I was like, don't you think that's a little close? And they were like, no, that's so somebody can't open, even if they got the lock broken.
Yeah, they couldn't lift it
up to get to the bikes. So somebody at Direct Energy maybe parked a little too far from the door.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these new trucks have the side doors now. Yeah, they don't open from the back.
It's been a minute since I've been to the Tour de France.
Let's go.
All right, now we got to get the. How was just give us the 411 on the Snowmass Rodeo.
I mean, we got there. It was exciting. The first thing that happened was the guy come out on a horse, bucking horse. He fell off straight away within 2 seconds. And then they come in pairs. The horse riders come in pairs, and you got to get the bull when it's let out by the horns, and the other guy's got to get by the legs with lasso. Quite a few of them got them with the bull with the horns, but not one of them got them with the legs at the back. And I'm here to be entertained. And it didn't happen. Now either they were shit cowboys or not real cowboys.
We need you out there.
But I don't know. I'm yet to be impressed yet by seeing a real life cowboy. I wanted to see the bull strung up by both ends. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So
the most exciting bit was the kids on the sheep, on the muttons.
the mutton.
Yeah, that was great.
And we had a winner. One of the kids made it to the other.
He did. He
was just not going to let go.
That was amazing. And he was under the sheep running and holding on to it. And that was exciting. I'm not sure that you'd get away with that in the UK, with child protection and safeguarding these days.
Yeah. That's a miracle you can get away with it here. But this is a wild,
free country,
West.
as they sang at the start of the rodeo.
Were you disappointed there was no jousting, Sir Bradley?
That'd have been fun.
And you sat with some Irish guys.
But we left. It's 3 Irish guys behind us. Actually, they were from Dublin. They were over here. One of them was called Seamus, the most Irish name you could have. And they were selling tickets to some creek you can't go up in a car close to here. Some most photographed place in Aspen, and there's a road.
Maroon Bells.
Yeah, they would sell bus tickets at the bottom of that. These guys. Yeah, it was
You
good.
can also ride your bike up there. Well, by the way, we're getting a lot of questions because folks are seeing a lot of pictures of George and I out on the bikes. A lot of questions. Where's Sir Bradley on the bike? Come on.
We're trying to get him out.
Well, the last time I rode a bike was up Sacalobra 2.5 years ago in Mallorca. Okay. Me and you were the last two up it if we were holding onto the car.
You know what?
Well, tell that story, 'cause that was pretty funny.
Yeah, so I 10, 15 years ago, I had the record up that thing like 1947, something like that. It took me an hour and a half to get up it with you. And that was the last day I rode a bike.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good news is Liz, she can both Photoshop things out of photos and also Photoshop things into photos.
If you get me a bike, I'll come out with you tomorrow.
Perfect.
Just go easy on me.
Really?
Yeah.
But he is in the gym every morning, which you guys are probably seeing. We did a fun little... Yeah, clearly. All right. See what kind of cowboy this guy can make.
You got any comments or anything, JB?
I do, but I'm going to do Ventum trivia real
trivia.
quick. And I do have a couple comments and questions for you guys, but we're giving away brand new NS1 at the end of the tour. Yesterday's question was, what year, city, and country did Lance win the UCI Road Race World Championships? 93 in Oslo, Norway. Today's question
Who was
is...
second and third?
Who was second?
Yeah, you win an extra bike for this question.
Let's see if he knows. Who was second and third? Who was on that?
Endurain was second. And Ludwig was third, right?
Yeah.
Olaf Ludwig.
Who was fourth?
Schmiel.
No, Johan Museo. Johan Museo was fourth.
Well, they were all. Reese, Museo, Schmiel.
That was a great group. Fondress was in there.
Yeah.
Bjarne Reese.
And by the way,
Chiappucci. Was a great group. Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Johan corrected us, and Total Energy is on NV bikes, not Specialized.
Well, they used to be, we get half credit because they used to be on, when Sagan went there, he took Specialized with it.
Well, they might be on Specialized for the rest of the race because there's not enough NV bikes out
Yeah,
there.
it might be whatever they can
They might
find.
be on old Huffies. I mean, whatever we can drag up. But yes, that was a stud group there in Oslo in '93.
Yeah.
Y'all were giving Elizabeth grief for peeing her pants on the moto the other day. I peed in the chamois 3 times in Oslo.
Good on you, man.
She's like, what? 3 times.
Today's question.
Okay.
Besides Cav, what is another nickname often given to Mark Cavendish? Send your answer to ventumracing.com.
I know.
Give people a little hint without giving it away.
The Manx.
Yep.
Boom.
That's it.
That's
Did you know that one?
I used to call him low ass because his bum's really low.
All right.
A couple comments and questions. This is from Sjur in Norway. Guys, awesome show, but who's the nose whistler amongst you guys?
Bradley Wiggins.
It's making the dogs bark here.
is that a trivia question or that's
No, you know who it is.
No, but it used to be George, but Sir Bradley has come along and eclipsed him. I mean, this is
Just because I got yelled at all the time, so I don't do it anymore.
This is Darth Vader Jr., and we now have Darth Vader Sr. This is Luke, and this is fucking Darth Vader. This is, you
No,
do know
he's-
that. That's why we keep these things, you got to put them more in your ears so that you can hear every, when you breathe.
Oh, who gives a shit?
I used to call him low ass. I mean, so that's,
I knew you'd like that one. Here's another one from Rizman. And no one that wears a cowboy hat should be wearing those shorts. And for those of you watching on YouTube, we have a little.
He just came out for a run, so the cowboy hat was an after effect of it.
I can wear what the fuck I like.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
But I agree, no one should, unless it's me. Because I'm the new king of Aspen. There's a new sheriff in town.
unfortunately, there is, actually.
Laville writes on YouTube, did you know that for the Eritrean national race a month ago, they sold 1 million tickets and they ran out and let people in for free?
Whoa.
Biniam was talking about this at his press conference on
Hang on a
Monday.
second. 1 million tickets?
They sold
First
tickets.
of all, they sell tickets to
They
a bike
sell
race?
tickets, apparently.
Okay. All right. Well, then now, not only do we have a place that we didn't ever talk about before, but if they have figured out a way to sell 1 million tickets to a cycling race,
Yeah.
Right.
then they have cracked the code because that's legit.
Yeah.
Because nobody's, I mean, there are the races, the exhibition races after the tour, what they call kermesses, typically in Belgium, Holland, parts of, they do sort of fence off these small towns and will sell
Some
tickets
grandstand type stuff.
No, just to get into the town.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like what you see today is people are just standing around and they get that for free.
Right.
Freebie.
Dear Eritrea, you might have just changed cycling forever. If you can sell 1 million tickets to a bike race, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I want in on that business model.
Here's an email from Pat. As exciting as racing is, and I agree with Lance that on the bike, Mr. Momentum has joined the Team Visma Lisa bike. It also appears that Jonas is gaining on Tajay in terms of likability and public support. He seems more open and personable in interviews this year versus always being very robotic and scripted. And have you seen his mustache? You have to look close, but it's there. And the little clips of him talking about it are hilarious. Curious on your thoughts on Jonas will win not just the race, but the hearts of the fans by the end of the tour. That's from Pat in Bend, Oregon.
I agree with that.
Right.
He's grown on me this year. I've seen a different side to him. It's always interesting to see a different side to someone when they're on the back foot. And I think Jonas is... that's maybe one of the things with Tadej is when he's on the back foot, as he is even leading this race, you see a different side to him. And it's maybe one that's lost him a few fans. I don't know, that's a big statement to make, but I've certainly... Jonas has grown on me in this race, and that's him being the underdog. He's
he had nothing to lose.
No.
He had nothing to lose. He was totally fearless. Anything that he got out of this tour was a bonus, and I believe that. I don't think that was a bluff or BS. I think they didn't know what to expect, and so what they've gotten so far is just this is just gravy.
In our sport, if you go back and watch our preview show, I said many times, in fact, a lot of times in our sport, we're judged on how we react to adversity. And he's had the toughest year
for sure
out of anybody in the peloton, and he may end up winning this race. So he's gaining fans day by day, more and more.
Let's also remember, Tadej Pogačar faced adversity last year, right?
Yeah.
Crashing in Les, breaking
But
the
nothing
wrist.
like that.
I understand, but there were big questions around how much he could come back, how much he had trained, how well he had been able to prepare, and he did a fantastic job. Now, the race didn't go as planned. The one thing I will say, and we touched on his interview yesterday, I would, not that he's calling me for any press tips, nor should anybody, frankly. When they ask you how the state, it was a good state. Don't bluff. That's a bluff, right? Just be honest. Not that great, right? I mean, that will over time start to wear on folks, but he's still wildly popular, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, people they love his style. They love sort of this boyish attitude and way of being. But Vingegaard in the past has been sort of this monotone, dial tone guy, but he's got none to lose. So show some flair. He does have the stash to this fellow's question. Now you better get a microscope out because it's real hard to see.
I call it a football mustache, 11 on each side.
Okay, I've never heard that. Bradley calls it something else, but
speaking of that, Sir Bradley, you have a nickname that you gave to Jonas as we were watching the other day, and I told a couple people that, and they laughed hysterically because it's true.
Yeah, he was a star in Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. That's true. But yeah, he does look like him.
He does quite a bit. One more question here real quick. I've got a question about burning matches. You guys often talk about it when cyclists makes a hard effort, as Pogačar did yesterday, that he is burning matches. Do cyclists like Vingegaard yesterday also burn matches when they chase? If so, does this become a contest of who has the most matches? That's Paul in Bristol, Virginia.
It's a great question. Yeah. Look, you're riding the Tour de France, so you are burning a match every day. To me, but when that match starts to get really short is when you get those efforts where you're just truly in the red. Yesterday, Tadej Pogačar, he showed he was in the red. He went as hard as he could to get away, and he got away. He could not hold that. That shows you that he burned that match more than others.
Yeah.
Jonas Vingegaard was very calculated. He stayed within his zone. Is he burning a match? Yes. He's just not burning it as low as Pogačar. No. So you got to kind of read between the lines. I think you're only afforded so many of those accelerations, let's call it, because those are the ones where, again, like I said yesterday, that's where the tree starts getting chopped. And it's hard to get that thing to grow back.
Yeah, but there's also the other side of that. There's the psychological matches.
Right.
And if you're attacking, and as we know, the mental side and the mental fatigue in the Tour de France, especially when you're leading the race, is just as much as the physical aspect of it. So when you're burning, when Tadej Pogačar attacks and he's chased down and caught by Jonas Vingegaard, that's a psychological match that he's burned that he perhaps didn't have to use. Yeah. So there's also that side of it as well. So and when that happens, Jonas, his match wouldn't have been burned because he's caught him and it's a bit like, hitting someone with your hardest punch in a boxing ring and they don't go down.
Mm-hmm. And if I can add to that, these guys are trained to stay at their limit for as long as they can and do it again and again, day after day after day. When you see moments like Pogačar maybe was bonking, ran out of fuel, they're not really trained for that, and that's where you start burning the matches.
So lots of matches, lots of different matches, different colours for different physical aspects of the race. Blue for psychological, red for physical.
absolutely.
Keep going.
Well, and of course, lots of good things going on. The illnesses within the peloton as well, isn't it? You know, COVID. You've got their black matches.
The black match. Morikov got a black match. He was sent home with COVID.
Yeah.
Allegedly, there's a bunch of riders riding right now with COVID. So hopefully it doesn't have much of an effect on the race, but you never know. Scary.
Which is so ironic. I mean, 3 years ago, it was what it was. It was terrible, but now it's an option, right? You got COVID. Would you like to go home or would you like to stay?
Yeah.
I mean,
But even if
what
you're
a difference 3 years makes.
if you've like by now, I think a lot of us have had COVID with like almost no symptoms. You could still be okay. But if you pass it on to a teammate who gets really bad symptoms, you got to just send them home, don't you think?
You don't want to get anything out of the Tour de France.
Nonetheless, that's a big loss for Mark Cavendish. You got a couple more sprint stages. That's if he could have picked any guy not to go home, it would have been that one. So heads up on that. All right, we'll be back tomorrow for stage 13. And Biniam Girmay, Wout van Aert. I'm going with Girmay too. Yeah. I'm with Sir Wiggle here.
All right.
Delete.
Ooh. Okay.
He's due. He's due.
He is due. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow.